Today we're going into the Civil Rights Memorial Center. It has a civil rights movement timeline where they take...
Let's just talk.
Wherever we go, we about to bring on the positive vibe. Wherever we go, we are gonna do what makes us feel right.
And I don't know about you, honey, but for me, I got emotional just even walking into the center. As you walk up the stairs and, you know, we walked past the sculpture into me of the past. What about you?
I think I didn't know what to expect, so I didn't have emotions going in. Not until probably we sat down in the theater and looked at the movie of what was occurring at that time in history. And the children, because I was trying to manage all the kids there, they were able to see pictures of other children that were sometimes their age, particularly when you're thinking about the church bombing, that had to endure the atrocities of that moment in time. So I think that's what kind of hit home for especially our 14-year-old nephew. Yeah. Just realizing that these aren't just stories, these are real people. These were real people that gave their lives for the struggle of civil rights.
The wall of tolerance.
It was the wall of tolerance. And you have an opportunity to sign your name on that wall, digitally, but to sign your name on that wall. And it's basically a commitment that you yourself will take the challenge of fighting for tolerance in this country, that you will do your personal best to make sure that you don't become a part of the problem, but you're part of the solution. So all of our kids actually signed the wall, and
they wanted to do that on their own. Once you explained to them exactly what it meant, they asked, can we put our name in? And I was so proud, as a dad, I was so proud of them. On the carving, which is by the same artist or sculptor as the one that did the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., it's got the names of all the, I think 46 of these martyrs who gave their life for the civil rights cause, and they encourage people to touch. It's covered in water, and you can actually run your finger across each name and really connect with it on a deeper level.
I tried to fight alone. Sometimes we just don't know that we can do anything together if we just try. And as long as we have our backs, remember our foes can buy.
That I get like major. I get, you know, a lot of times if they have, you know, like when we were to San Antonio with my parents, we got the apartments. So we had a full kitchen, laundry, you know, everything.
Are you familiar with the historic sites here in Montgomery? I'll give you a listing. This camp goes from America's Civil War to America's Civil Rights, with 104 years in between. It's a very interesting city. Okay. Alabama State Camp is the most historic camp in the United States of America. And it is for 3 reasons. Number 1, there's a bronze star on the step. It's the Star of David. 6 points, marking the location that Jefferson Davis stood to take the oath of office to become the first and only president of the Confederate States of America. 104 years later is when Dr. King led the Voters' Right March up Dexter Avenue. It was between these two columns where Governor George C. Wallace stood and delivered his first inaugural address. In the final words in that address, he told the world, as governor of Alabama, he stood for segregation today, tomorrow, and forever. Now, there's 3 episodes or events that took place here and nowhere else in the world.
If you could tell them one thing about that day or that march, what would you want them to remember and carry forward?
I would want them to remember that you have to stand firm. Life is not free. Nothing in life is free. If it's worth it, it's worth fighting for. Through education is the key to success. Educate yourself. We educated ourselves out of slavery, and that's just recently. We're talking 50 years ago. Slaves were not humans, they were property. They were dehumanized. So, through a quality education, you can remain and live your life as a human being as everyone else. And when you're old enough to register and vote. Voting has power.
But definitely, I think we both give thumbs up to Alabama, Montgomery, Selma.
We'll be back.
And we will definitely be back, and you need to visit it. It doesn't matter what color you are, what nationality, it's part of this country's history, and for yourself and for your children, it'll give you an opportunity to really immerse yourself in it. And I think that's one of the things we love about RV Travel is we can read about it, whether it be in books or online, but then you go and you can walk in the same steps as these, not just historians, but to me, these heroes of our country, both black, white, and whatever nationality that, gave their lives in some cases and gave a lot, sacrificed a lot. And the one question I have when I leave there, not the one question, I always have this question in my mind when I leave a site like this, whether it be American history or African American history, is, does our generation have the leadership and the courage to do what our forefathers did before us? Just think about that for a while. Well, I'm Keith.
Tia.
We're Soulful Irby family, and we thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us along on our journeys.
Don't forget Pinterest.
How about Instagram?
Facebook.
Twitter. I love Twitter.
I can't stand Twitter. I'm struggling with that one. But
And of course now, our YouTube channel.
yes.
So thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Subscribe.
Bye now.
Bye.